Hi, this is Felicia Miller from Greater Purpose Counseling with another Truthful Thursday tidbit. Often we hear in private practice, since we have chosen to not panel with insurance for various reasons. We often hear the cost is too much, the financial is too much, the drive to your office is too much, the allocating time to do a virtual is too much. Let's talk about what the cost is when you're not doing therapy and the symptoms. You know, when you've endured trauma, when you've endured anxiety, you've endured stress, that will wreak havoc on your nervous system. It will wreak havoc on your body because we constantly live in the fight, flight, freeze, which is the gas pedal in the sympathetic. So that's making all the internal organs, the vagus nerve, the adrenal glands, the cortisol, it's making all this stuff work overtime all the time. And then you're not using the brake, the parasympathetic, to slow down. That eventually is going to cost you in medical bills, prescription medications, functional holistic doctors. It's going to weigh on your health because everything has a cost. We decide what we want to invest in, and sometimes we don't want to invest in ourselves because facing the reality of the things that we spend so much time trying to avoid. Many people spend hours trying to avoid a thought, a feeling, a sensation, a perception because it's too hard. Whereas if they took 10, 20 minutes, really faced it and let themselves process it, they wouldn't spend the rest of the day hyperfixated on how to avoid it. So when you think about what mental health is costing you, what your current situation is costing you, you're not sleeping at night. You're spending more on food because you're emotionally eating. Maybe you're spending more on a specific kind of addiction that you have, whatever that might be. It might be porn, it might be shopping, it might be, collecting things. Either way, you're spending money. It might be drinking, it might be smoking, it might be, having tinctures of, weed, whatever it is. You're still spending money on something that's trying to mask the reality. You are worth the investment. There's only one you. There's not 10 yous, there's one you. So the next time that you are considering therapy, you're considering life coaching, you're considering a nutritionist, your life is worth the investment. Your peace of mind is worth the investment. Your spiritual health is worth the investment. Because at some point it will cost you. It will either cost you the money and the time to take the time to slow down, to pump the brake, to get out of sympathetic, to face and address some stuff. Or it's going to cost you physically on the other end when there is internal damage, there is long time patterns that have not been broken, there is disconnection there, and then in the end you still may have to eventually do therapy. So just consider yourself worth the cost. You are worth the investment. Post-traumatic growth means you have to take ownership of your life. You cannot keep going, well, because I had this environment, because I had this. At some point, you have to go, okay, stop. I need y'all to stop having real estate in my mind, and I need to take control back of my life. And I am worth the investment because I'm still living, because I survived. And I have to be able to figure out where I land and where I move forward. So that's your Truthful Thursday. You are worth the investment because you're spending your money someplace. You are giving your time someplace. You are spending so much effort and energy to ignore and try to avoid things. Change the perspective. Get out of sympathetic. Hit some brakes. Get into parasympathetic. I promise you'll feel a lot better. God bless.